Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today we're pouring a 40 by 32 by 6 inch thick garage floor. Now the owner or the builder did all the setup on this as far as putting the 2 inches of styrofoam down. He probably hired somebody to do the radiant heat tubes, but then he tied that matter rebar in there. And we're using our 3500 PSI Crete with the water reducer and the fiber mesh in it, half air entrainment. And I just wanted to show you the process of pouring, maybe a little bit of finishing at the end of the video, but they didn't want much slope in this because it had the radiant tubing. They thought if any water got dripped on the slab from the cars that it would just evaporate with the heat from the concrete. So there's very little slope on this, which means we can use our power screed here from DeWalt and with the 14-foot board on it from MBW. This is one of our favorite screeds. We're using battery operated screed. Now to reach the back, we decided we'd use the conveyor truck just to make the reach a little bit easier and we wouldn't have to use the chutes. One thing we were struggling with a little bit early this season, this is early in the season here, is the concrete companies had to switch from using what we call our normal Dragon Portland cement, which we got right in the state of Maine. They made it right here in Maine. That company went out of business and they don't make that cement anymore. So now the concrete companies in Maine have to buy their cement from out of state. And there's multiple different places they can get it. So we're trying to work with that. And it's the new type 1L cement. I guess it's not really new anymore, but it's the new environmentally green cement, which a lot of guys are having trouble with. And the struggle that we're having with it is, when the guy batches the concrete, he's trying to figure out his moisture levels when he batches, and we've been having a little bit of trouble with getting these what we call concrete balls in the drum that just won't break up. So we're having to break them up as they come out. You know, the concrete gets mixed up pretty well, as you can see, but we'll have these balls, you know, there'll be some be the size of a baseball, some soccer ball, some a basketball that will come out of the drum, and they just can't break them up. So we have to break them up as we go. And that's been a little bit of a struggle here early in the season, but they're getting it figured out. The more and more they batch this stuff and, you know, play with the moisture levels, the better it's getting. But today it was a little bit of a struggle on this first truck. You can see how easy the concrete is to screed using that power screed. It's 40 by 32, remember, and we've been spraying, we've been using a little bit of a finishing aid spray that we've been spraying on the concrete before we bull float. It's also a densifier and hardener, and it makes the concrete just a little easier to bull float and a little easier to finish. And here's a good view of us with the water. You can see a couple of the balls still coming out even in the second truck that we're having to break up. But this is the concrete with the water reducer. So that's 3,500 PSI concrete, but we can pour a pretty loose slump without losing any strength in the concrete. That's the reason we use the water reducer. And a lot of you guys already know that about me because you've watched a lot of my videos. Now, if you're new to my videos, please consider subscribing, number one. And if you do, put new sub in the comments and I'll enter you into a drawing to win some of the gear, the hoodies, the t-shirts and stuff that we wear. I pick a new winner each week, but you got to put new sub in the comments for that. And for you guys that always watch my videos, you come back and watch them, you know, week after week, put old sub in the comments and I'll enter you into a different drawing to win some of the stuff that we wear too. So there's 3 loads here, figured just over what 2 trucks could carry. I think it was around 24 yards. We'll get about 3 8-yard loads we're dumping out. Good rugged floor really for a residential garage, maybe even a little overkill, but with the radiant tubing in there, you know, the more concrete you have, the more after that stuff heats up, it's going to hold the heat a lot better. So it's a little bit better to go thicker on a radiant heated floor than it is maybe thinner or 4-inch standard type floor. They're also going to heat the driveway after. That's why they bonded out way over there. I don't know if you can see it way in that back right corner. And then all that tubing coming up in the back, those orange tubes sticking up out of the floor, they're going to hook those or part of those into the radiant system they have and run them out through the garage floor into the driveway afterwards to do, you know, he didn't really talk to me about pouring a concrete driveway, but he did say they were going to heat the driveway. So maybe that's something. Maybe that's something the builder's going to do on his own. I don't know yet. Maybe he'll have us come back and do that. But pretty good view of the second truck. I go around with the laser I didn't shoot the grades here. The builder did, so I'm double checking everything. Right, his snap lines, making sure everything's perfect. And I always set up a laser and make sure I check everything as we go, because you guys know you can only get one chance to do concrete right. You want to get it right the first time, especially the slopes, right? So you don't want any puddles in here, humps in here. This is a pretty standard way of us doing things. We'll strike off, what we call our pads by hand, making sure everything's perfect. And then we'll jump in there with the power screed, and we can use that. Now, you can use the power screed to strike off your pads if you want. That's fine. We just like doing it our way, and what's worked for us, we're not changing. And that's how easy it is to screed that concrete right there using that. It's pretty easy, actually, once you've done it and know what you're doing, know what you're looking for, and you have the right slump. You got the right guys raking that know how to rake, how much concrete to keep up behind the rod. Luke can just give it a little throttle, slow and steady, pulling it backwards, watching his ends, and that's how easy it is. Now there I am. I'm spraying a little bit of that finishing aid on before I bull float. It's a little windy here today too, so it's dry and windy, and you guys that know anything about concrete, you can know what that does to the surface of the concrete. So this stuff helps with that too, as far as the finishing goes. And no, I don't need to bull float perpendicular to the way I screed, because the way we screed gets the concrete really flat. So when you're a pro, you don't need to do it that way. That's a myth. I know a lot of you guys think you need to bull float a certain way, but you go ahead, bull float whatever way you want. We'll just keep doing it the way we do it, and we don't have any trouble with it that way. So now we're on to the third truck. Those bond outs there are for garage doors. You're going to get to see how we cut in a garage door tip down here too towards the end of the video. I don't like doing the step thing, the 2-inch step, which a lot of guys do in different parts of the country. We like doing just the tapered slope with no trip edge. We never have any trouble with water getting up under the door during a rainstorm or anything like that. And been doing it that way my whole life with never any trouble. But now here I am using the power screed. One good thing about, there's Harvey over there in the yellow sweatshirt, then there's Darren and Luke and behind me in the gray. We can all do everything. Like, we can all run the screed, we can all puddle, we can all bull float. We could all shoot grades with a laser. So no one really has one certain job. We just all work together and get the thing done, and that makes for a pretty easy pour actually on just about every single job that we do. All the pours are pretty easy with all the experience that we have. Getting right down to the last little bit. We don't want to get too much concrete in there and make a mess, so we usually leave a little bit of an open spot. And then if we need a little bit, we'll just have him run some, scrape it out of the chute, and then get him out of the way so he can start washing up. This was about an hour away from us and the concrete plant. That's not uncommon for our jobs. We get calls from people all over the state, 2 hours away, 3 hours away, looking for somebody to do their concrete. A lot of people find me by these videos, and they watch the video and they say, hey, these are the guys, even though they don't know us, these are the guys I want doing my floors. So the videos do help in that way, but it also creates a lot of traffic too. There's a lot of jobs that we get called to do that we just can't do because we can only do so much with a 4 or 5 man crew here. Now I'm going to end up, so a day like today, Darren and Luke, Harvey will take off. Harvey works for himself. He just helps us whenever we ask him. So he'll take off and go do, whatever he needs to do on his jobs. Darren and Luke will stay here to finish. Sometimes I'll stay and finish. Sometimes I won't. Today I'm going to stay for a few minutes. We'll get the boys making sure they get started okay, and then I'm going to take off. and go get some other jobs ready for the rest of the week and, you know, the following week. And I like having concrete ordered in advance, you know, all my jobs scheduled out at least a week in advance and sometimes 2 weeks. So the dispatcher knows what we're doing, how many trucks we need, what time we're going to start, what town we're in. So here's how we cut this down. And I don't need a special mag or nothing. I've done thousands of these this way. We go down about a 1/2 inch on the form if the form's set to grade. And then I cut in that taper just a little bit beyond the concrete wall, because that's where the garage door is gonna sit down right about. It sits down right about even with the inside of that concrete wall. So my taper goes just beyond that. Garage door sits down on the taper. Pretty easy to do if you know what you're doing. You've done this your whole life. So that's the initial cut down right there, and then we refine it as we finish the concrete. You know, as we power trowel it, hand trowel it. We'll put a light broom finish on that. We'll put an edge on it. Luke's going to come right behind me with the edger and kind of round that off, and we'll go over it. You know, we'll go over it 2 or 3 times to get it finished and looking really nice. And I show a little bit more detail in the concrete underground, which is my training area. If you want to really learn how to pour and finish concrete, I would suggest joining the concrete underground. I got multiple trainings in there. I got power trowel trainings teaching you how to run a power trowel like this, the timing of everything. And that's how, you know, that's probably the best way you can learn online. And then there's also an option in the concrete underground if you want to get some hands-on training and come work with us for a week. There's a way to do that too that's in there. So definitely check that out. There's a link for that in the description of the video. This is a new power trowel for us. It's called the Full Tracks. Guys sent this to us to try. It's got a Honda motor on it, 36-inch trowel. You know, it's got the big commercial clutch on it, so it's got a lot of power. Plus, it has a lot of RPMs. It's working out really nice. We're using combo blades on it. It comes with combo blades. And Darren's just floating up the first truck, as you can see. Everything's floating up really nice. The speed of the RPMs on first float, you know, depends on how soft or how firm the concrete is, really. But he's got it dialed right in. Darren's been finishing concrete for over 30 years. So let me know, you know, if you've got any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments. If you want to learn how to do concrete, again, the Concrete Underground is your best place to do that. Learn from us the way we do things. Let me know what state you're from or where you're watching from. If you're watching from a different country, put that down there in the comments. And I'll have a couple other videos pop up here about concrete stuff. You know, go ahead and watch those. And we'll see you on the next one, guys.